I try to share a little bit here and there with as much as I can for my time, some of the insights and knowledge that comes to me from these beings and the current path that we're on as a whole, as the human race. Because, of course, this is not necessarily in the book, but currently the time that we're in respect to, a time of choice, I call it, and a time of change. This particular point in our history is something that they've talked to me about a great deal, and so my focus for what I've been sharing with people has moved from talking about the details of my, face-to-face encounter with these beings more towards what it is that they have asked us as a species to be doing, which is moving towards unity and towards creating a voice to be able to, make the changes that need to be made in our society and in our world, because, we're never going to get there doing it on our own. We're really going to need to support one another through all of these different facets, these radio programs, blogs, emails, groups, organizations, all of it, and really coming together and creating a movement in order to facilitate that change and create more respect for one another and respect for the earth. So it kind of is twofold, two areas that I talk about. One is really the physical context that I've had, and then, of course, the messages that I've had. But the book is a compilation of events in my life that sort of led me to this path that I'm on, and that book is available on my website at bluestarprophecy.com.
Okay, and also, Miriam, you're still in contact with the tall beings, and okay, so because that's actually something that I think people would be very interested to know, that you get messages actually at any time of the day or night. They could suddenly contact you.
Yes. My physical contacts, meaning, as if you and I are going to go for a coffee, Kerry, and sit in a restaurant and have a cup of tea or something, that kind of a contact I have not had for many years. The last time, in fact, was as far back as 2005, and it was on Hopi, in the Hopi Reservation in Arizona, in the United States. And that was the last time that I had a physical face-to-face encounter with one of these beings. And since then, I've had many, astral encounters where, I'm basically pulled out of my body and go and meet with them in that form. I also have them come to me in dreams, where they stand in front of me and give me messages. And the other way is that I all of a sudden will sense them. And then a message will come, and then I'll get a physical sign around me that says that they're there, like, for example, a flash in the sky, or maybe I'll see an orb, what I call a star orb, one of these physical beams of light that basically look like a star in the middle of the day floating through the sky. So these are some of the different ways that they contact me, and these contacts are still happening to me even today. After 23 years, they still happen to me physically. And when they speak to me, they will sometimes give me messages about what path to follow and what information I need to look at, and people I might need to contact. And it's not as detailed as what someone might imagine, but it's as if, Kerry, you would pick up the phone and say, listen, this person over here named, George, you need to pay attention to what he's saying and follow his lead. And that's the kind of messages that I might get. And then what happens as a result of those messages from the tall blondes is I end up being led down some absolutely fascinating paths that are all interrelated to indigenous people, sacred and the sacredness of what they carry. And it also leads me to other contactees and even abductees who have had experiences that hold knowledge that was given to them, or it leads me to individuals, for example, more recently, it's leading me to individuals who are extremely connected to the earth and are feeling earth changes. So these messages come for many different reasons, small and large, and it is often, I find it often difficult for someone that asks me a question such as you just did to really pinpoint one exact little tiny, or big item that would indicate, and people would, gasp at and say, wow, that's really amazing. Because it's actually a network of information that's being shared. It's not specific to one subject. It's on many different subjects. And I've been working for the last 2.5 years since I came forward publicly on building a foundation for myself in respect to the public to be able to share as much as I possibly can and not hold back anything. The book is a wonderful foundation for people to understand my story, and a little bit even about the tall blondes and their, quote, agenda, if you want to use that word. And then what I've shared in my interviews and blogs and website is more of these messages that they gave. And these messages,
Your words are definitely out there. I think we're reaching more people with them as we go here. Miriam, sorry to interrupt you here, but I've got someone asking a question, and I think it's pertinent to what you're talking about here. They're basically asking you whether or not you're seeing there being some major earth changes within 2010, this year, and they are also asking whether you are still encouraging people to collect seeds, which I happen to know you are, and so I can say that is true. But could you address the earth changes before or after the dimensional shift? This person is asking.
Okay, the earth changes is really good. This is fantastic, and thank you so much for asking this question. It's one of the most important questions I think that can be asked right now. The earth changes are very much a focal point of why I came forward. It is one of the largest and strongest reasons why I ended up, sharing with the public. For many years, people have talked about 2012, and they've talked about what's going to happen in 2012. And I have never focused on that because the information that I received from these beings indicated that the year 2010 would be the beginning of Earth changes, and that 2010 was going to be a very, very big year for the planet for these Earth changes. And so, of course, it was no surprise to me when these major earthquakes started to happen in January. This was of no surprise to me whatsoever. I feel very strongly that later this year that there are going to be some very serious events that are going to take place around the planet that will have an effect on the rest of the world in some way, shape, or form. And I believe that those events are going to be around June or July. And there is a really strong possibility that it's going to be volcanoes and earthquakes. Now, I am telling you this because this is a vision that was given to me by these tall blondes. However, I also want to share that I am contacted by people all the time who have had encounters themselves, and I also have many people share with me the dreams and visions that they have been having about earth changes. for example, and I want to just